seems like every single time I make a video nowadays, things just seem to get worse and worse. I don't know what to do anymore, honestly. Alright, so what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, today, we're going to be discussing the Season 2 roadmap for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. Now, I'm sure you've had your own opinions on this. I'm sure you've seen discussions, YouTube videos, Reddit posts, tweets, all of that stuff, because there's a lot to unpack here, or I guess there isn't a lot to unpack, really. Like I say, you've probably seen it already, but just for the sake of it, in case you live under a rock, there you go. There's the Season 2 roadmap for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. Now, I'm just going to say, the Warzone side of it actually looks pretty good. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that they've already reverted and stuff they've already talked about. There's a lot of things that they're going back on themselves for to make it more like Warzone 1. And I've discussed my opinions on this. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, it's great to have these changes, but at the same time, it's sort of been a waste of time, these like 3 months or whatever that we've had the game the way it is. That's basically just been a beta for what the game is supposed to be now, just Warzone 1 but with better graphics and a better engine, really. So that whole 3 months was just a beta. But beyond that, we've got actually a decent amount of stuff here. We've got obviously Ashika Island, we've got Resurgence coming. We've got some things with DMZ as well. I haven't really been following DMZ all that much. It seems good. I just haven't really been all that invested in it. But then you go over to the multiplayer side of it, and oh god, it's so painful. Okay, let's go into it. So we've got ranked play coming, which I think that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what ranked is going to be like in this game. Obviously, it's made by Treyarch. We've got a raid coming in season, which the first one was pretty good. There wasn't really much replayability to it, but the story and all that was fun. Obviously, on the bottom part, we've got our weapons. There's actually a good amount of weapons coming this season: an AR, shotgun, crossbow, melee weapon, and marksman rifle. That, in terms of weapon variety, is the best I've seen. Like, usually it's assault rifle, SMG, LMG, but we've got shotguns, melee weapons, crossbow, like that's sick. And obviously we've got our skins and bundles and operators, like who cares. Ronin's back, which is quite cool, but that's about it. Then we go to the top of it. So the new modes, in my opinion, is actually gas. That's really cool. So we've got Infected, Gun Game Grind, starting at the start of the season. Then we've got Drop Zone, All or Nothing, and One in the Chamber, which I think is a huge dub. I think that's so good to see so many party games in the game coming. But the main thing I want to talk about today is that top right section. Ignore the battle maps, man. Fuck off. Get the battle maps out of here. What the fuck? Who cares about the battle maps? Seriously, like, nobody plays ground war in this game. Let's be real. Like, who is actually playing ground war and what's the other one? The AI one that everyone bummed off Weapon XP for. Who plays that? We have Dome coming, which, although a remake, I can't help but be excited for that because that's such a good map. And fucking Museum. There are 2 maps for the entire season: Dome and Museum. Like, are you taking the fucking piss? People have their own opinions on Museum. I disliked it. I think it's a bad map. I don't think it's a terrible map. I think there's a bit of open space. It's a bit large, but beyond that, it's not like, you know, fundamentally flawed. Or maybe they've done some reworks to it to make it better. I don't know. But the fact that there are only 2 maps the entire season is fucking ridiculous. And even if they're not, because none of these are actually in season, right? So we've got Dome and Museum on the launch. There's nothing for in season, which in my mind might mean that they're leaving something for the mid-season. But why would they not mention that? Surely they know that people know that Museum isn't new and Dome's a remake. Like, there's no original content here. They literally cut out a piece of the Warzone map, put it in 6v6, and brought back something that's already in the game. Like, what? That's not content. It's genuinely been so long since I haven't played this game properly in probably about a month now, to be honest. Probably since I made my last video. I'm going to stand by the fact that I think this game is good. I still think that Modern Warfare 2 is a good game. Despite all the negative press and all the negativity surrounding the game, I still think Modern Warfare 2 is a good game. But the problem isn't with the game itself. It's with the post-launch support. It's been fucking dreadful. It's been possibly almost the worst post-launch support we've seen, maybe apart from Vanguard, in COD history. And it's just confusing to me. Like, looking at all this stuff on this roadmap, all the Warzone and DMZ stuff is most likely Raven, right? There might be a bit of Infinity Ward influence there, but I think that's going to be mostly Raven. Ranked play is obviously being done by Treyarch. So the rest of what's on this roadmap is done by Infinity Ward. game modes don't take up much development time. I'm no developer, but I don't care what anyone says. Bundles and weapons must not do that much either. And the maps, there's nothing there. There's nothing original. We've not had an original map since this game came out. It just makes me wonder, like, what the fuck are Infinity Ward doing over there? What are they doing with their time? We're yet to see what they're doing. Turn my fucking volume down because I forgot how loud shipment is. I can't be bothered. I remember saying at the start of season 1 when I saw the very small amount of post-launch content, I think it was literally shoot house and shipment, I thought, you know what, I can allow it. I can let it slide because Warzone 2 is coming out. It's going to need a lot of attention that season, and fair play, you know, I was willing to look past it. But I thought season 2 was going to be it, man. I thought season 2 was going to be like a massive season, like 3-4 maps, a bunch of weapons, a bunch of changes that everyone loves. And I mean, sure, Warzone's getting that. Warzone is getting, you know, a brand new map again. They're getting the entire game mode. They're getting all the weapons and all that shit. What's multiplayer getting? Like, seriously, what are we getting? I'm getting Dome, which, don't get me wrong, I love that map, but it's a remake. It's something that's already been in the game. It's already there. It's been in there since season 1. And Museum, which, frankly, I would rather not have. I genuinely think not seeing Museum on there would have been better than seeing it on there. You know what it is with this stuff, with, like, games and that? Like, it's not frustrating because of actually what it is. It's more so the logic behind it. Like, it's just, like, I don't get some of the decisions that Infinity Ward make. Like, they literally make no sense to me. Like, surely they must have seen the lukewarm reception to Museum. Like, surely they would have seen that people aren't overly fond of it. So why would they bring it back? Why? Like, it was better out the game. Fucking tear gas. I'm actually gonna start crying in a second. Oh, man. Fucking... I'm not... I can't believe what's going on, man. The tactical spam in this game has been nuts. Oh my god, you know what? No, no. Calling the 1v1 gulag a new feature is kind of crazy. That's where we've been the past couple of years, unfortunately. We call things that aren't even features or things that were supposed to be in the game from day one new features on the roadmap. Like, it's so funny to me. We move 10 steps backwards every year just so we can make 1 step forward every live service update. Honestly, it's just the way it's been for the entirety of COD. I can't lie. It's just the way it's always been. And Warzone players are starting to feel it. Like, this is the way it's been for COD since, like, the Black Ops 2 days. Every single game introduces a bunch of new features and cool things. People talk about how much they like those things, and then you don't see them again for another 4 years until like a live service update. That's just the way COD is, unfortunately. If you want my opinion on Modern Warfare 2, I genuinely think, like I said at the start, it's still a good game, but all of its content is just spread way too thin, man. It's just way too thin. They should have started with Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, the 2-player Spec Ops or whatever, and Warzone 2.0. That's all they should have done. They shouldn't have bothered with DMZ just yet. They shouldn't have bothered with raids. They shouldn't have done all this shit. They shouldn't have done Resurgence, any of that. They should have focused on what they had, built that properly first, and then introduced something like DMZ later on.
But I want to take time and hit a report on Mr. What's his name? Martin Blower, whose ping is fluctuating every 2 seconds. He is the host, Martin Blower. Put a report in, you might get rid of a cheat.
Why is he announcing it like a fucking news reporter? The classic, this guy's better than me in a COD lobby, so I'm going to tell everyone that he's cheating. Like, it's so funny, man. At the end of the day, I'm still going to make content on this season. I mean, obviously, I'm still going to play it. I've been missing COD, I can't lie, and although it is pretty depressing to see what the fuck we're getting this season, which is near enough nothing. See, Infinity Ward's vision is they have this massive expansive game with about 5 different game modes applying, you know, trying to appease to all these different player bases, like, you know, Escape from Tarkov and Destiny and normal Call of Duty and Battle Royale, all these different, like, sub-genres. And the problem is they're doing all that and appeasing to all these fan bases with shit-all content. So they're not, why would they go from Escape from Tarkov, which is a fully fledged game, which has been out for multiple years, what would they go from that to this sort of lackluster version of the same thing, but with the Call of Duty name on it? Like, there's no reason for them to go from that game originally. It's the same for Destiny players. And especially with the rumor now as well, where this game isn't going to be supported for 2+ years. By the time they've run out of time, so once the 1 year is up, they wouldn't have had anywhere near enough time to build these experiences up. So ultimately, it would have just been a waste of time. At the end of the day, I'm somebody who's been playing Call of Duty for well over 10 years now. Maybe like 12, 13 years. years. I don't think I could actually ever stop playing COD and stop being a COD fan, just because it's basically my blood at this point. I basically sold my soul to the devil for this fucking franchise, and I don't know why. So until Call of Duty fully falls off and they stop making them, which probably isn't going to happen for another 10 plus years, I'm not going to stop being a COD fan, and I'm just sitting here complaining for no reason, because I know they're not listening either. If you're somebody who wants to start a movement on, boycotting Call of Duty and, folding your arms and not, paying the £70 premium price for a new COD game, that's on you. But ultimately, the way I see it, if I enjoy the game, I'm just gonna fucking play it, man. Like, I don't care enough. And as much shit as this game gets, I genuinely think it's still a good game. I've said that for the 3rd time now. I think this video, I still think it's a good game at its core. Like, with the multiplayer especially, like, I don't think it needed as much attention as people wanted. I'm gonna mute this guy now. He's like on the other side of his room, just like commentating. See, with Warzone 2.0, they released that, and it was a mess, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't bad by any means, but there was so many things that weren't carried over from Warzone 1, things that were already features, or things that were like, post-launch support things. There was a lot of stuff missing from Warzone 2, and I think that definitely needed the attention that it's getting this season. Whether that's taken away from the multiplayer, I'm not sure. Whether I'm going to sit here and hope the next season has more content for the multiplayer, I can't set myself up for failure again. But I do genuinely think that's it. I think Warzone 2 is getting so much focus this season and multiplayer isn't, because Warzone just needs it more than the multiplayer. Like, the multiplayer, I think, is in a semi-decent spot at the moment. I think the only thing it's lacking, realistically, apart from a UI overhaul, please, Infinity Ward, is content. And they've got a lot of the content already there. Like, they've got, I think, 6 or 7 OG maps in Al Mazrah itself. And I'm sure they could make a few more across the multiple seasons. So as long as they just bring us more maps and a couple more game modes, I'm happy with where the multiplayer is at the moment. And Warzone is a completely different story. I know so many people are upset with where Warzone is, so that's why I think it's getting the attention that it's getting. So there you go. That's my 2 cents on it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this whole situation. This has been a longer video for myself because I haven't been here a while. It's an important topic. I'm probably going to start uploading a bit more now. I just kind of need this mental break. I think now that Season 2 is here, it's going to be a sort of refresh for me. It's going to be sort of like, get back into it. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 new weapons coming this season, so I'm definitely going to be messing around with all of them. I'm going to be buying the Battle Pass. I'm going to be, doing all that shit, whatever. I'm going to make a few videos for the launch of the Season 2 anyway. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you are new around here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.